Start recording. Start recording. Oh, this one's the stubborn one. Only it'll listen when I'm telling it to shut off.
So what are some tools or resources that you have
Okay,
significantly...
let me start.
Oh, you haven't.
Let me start it. When
I
you
thought
ask
this was a
the
conversation.
conversation, yes, because the way you started. So, one of the things, that's where you're looking at a phone, you're making it down. That's good. Okay.
I have notes, yes.
Okay, so let me go through it. Okay, so let me come to the character. Have you
Get into
faced any? Oh, sorry.
Get into character.
Yes. Now, thank you, Christina, for joining in today.
No worries.
We would love to hear your story, your creative mind behind Encovco, and your thought process running a content agency. Yes, I just have to. We'll go through.
Like
Yeah, we'll go like one after the other.
Mhm.
But for example, if you talk about something that has already been covered in the next 3 questions or something,
Yeah.
then that's fine.
Yeah.
I won't go through it again.
Okay.
Yeah. But initially I thought about it like today. This editing would be much tougher for me because I know we share similar background of profession, and we already had a chat about
Like
collaborations
collaboration.
and stuff. So I thought, okay, it will be challenging for me to do
And
the edits.
we have spoken a lot about a lot of things the last few times we've talked
Yes.
about it and things like that. Yeah.
And that gives a bit of a clarity of what we can talk more and what are the other ways to make it more interesting. So, yeah. So can you tell me more about the stories behind Encovco? How to come up with the idea? When you thought about it?
So as the agency or just photography in general?
How about the whole agency thing and also Encovco, right?
Yes, yeah. So I've been obsessed with photography for like 10 plus years.
Okay.
Obviously I did like for university, I did a photography course.
Which you need to go to?
I went to Photography Studies College first, and then to RMIT for my bachelor's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Photography study college, which college?
Like that's the actual name of the
Okay,
college.
where is it?
It was it's smack down in the CBD, like.
Okay.
South Bank, yeah.
All right. Yeah. And then RMIT.
And then I went to RMIT.
Oh, yeah. Nice. You know, I'm from RMIT too.
Nice. I remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then I left.
Cool. Yeah. So just with the need in video, like content creation for social media, I decided that I might as well combine them together and make a content kind of agency. So I provide social media content for businesses. I do content creation for weddings, but I do professional photography and videography as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why the name Encovco?
I don't know. I wanted something unique. Obviously, a lot of brands are based off like Greek goddess and gods as well. But I couldn't find one.
Does Encovco have a meaning?
My aims. No, it doesn't actually.
Okay. It sounds very catchy and
it does.
yes.
It does, yeah. But it is sad. It doesn't have a meaning to it.
But that's alright.
I'll make it.
You don't have to make sense on everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes things that sounds good works good. This happened with one person I met through my work, and I forgot his name. He said something, and I was like, "What does it mean?" Well, this doesn't mean anything. But it's like a sound. Honestly, it's like a sound.
It just rolls off your tongue really well. That's kind of it.
Yes, it doesn't have a meaning. Doesn't have a, the name thing. The name. It doesn't have anything. Yeah. And it's just like a like this sound. I was like, what?
Like what, whack?
Yeah, something like I don't know honestly. And I was like, is this your name? Like, yes. Then I was like, no, you're joking.
Oh, wow.
So then he showed me his driving license. I was like, seriously?
There you go.
Well, nice. It's very interesting to know name like this.
Yeah.
But sounds good. Works well.
Works
Perfect.
well.
Done.
Yeah, done.
Nice. So you do photography. You do videography. You are doing content creations like for Encove and for another content agencies, right? So how do you balance your work and your personal life and your creative space and everything at the same time?
So I've only been in this for less than a year.
All right.
So I'm still trying to juggle it all together.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, each day is a new step in being able to balance everything. Yeah.
Through the process, do you really get challenges every day? Because I know you're comparatively new to this industry, as you mentioned, but with even experienced people face difficulties and challenges through this process.
Yeah.
But do you also face challenges despite of getting all the resources as currently this is something not as new because photography and filming and content agency is running there from a long time.
Yeah.
But as you being there as a new bee into this industry, what challenges do you really face and how do you overcome it? Like not in the personal life, talking about
Like
the creative side of it.
Side.
Yeah.
So I guess standing out because it is oversaturated a tiny bit, especially in Melbourne, with a lot of content agencies. So just being consistent is always a key, which I'm still learning to be consistent. Having your processes set up and just also reviewing what you're doing and making amends, like I don't know, just polishing and refining everything.
So do you mean review your own work?
Yeah, content, processes, review, feedback, things like that. Yeah.
And how often do you do the review of your work and how often do you give feedback to yourself or get feedback from someone which kind of guides you and make your structure clear?
So I'd probably say about monthly, but with client feedback, it'd be I try every time I have a client to get some kind of feedback, whether it's good or bad, or if they just need a tiny fix on something.
All right. Do you think feedbacks are important?
In the craft, yes, it is. In the business, it kind of indicates, like, say, I know sometimes they'll be like, oh, I might have taken a while, like, to get maybe a couple of days rather than a day. So it's also like the promises you give versus what you actually do.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
The promises mean the deliverables that you already.
Deliverables and things like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So then they kind of just give feedback on that, or like.
Yeah. So, in terms of the feedback, right? Because there are two kinds of feedback. I mean, technically three: positive, negative, and neutral. Now, neutral is a waste. That
it is.
Yes.
Is a waste,
But in talking about the positive and the negative feedbacks, now as we both come with the same professional background, now I would like to ask you in this, in terms of you getting a positive feedback, how much it impacts you positively, negatively, generally, how much it impacts you or boosts you in terms of your work, and if you get negative feedback, how much that also impacts you in your creative mind space.
Business mind space, it's like it still impacts me because I'm new, like in terms of the agency. But creatively, it's subjective, right? So.
All right.
But it's also like because I focus on marketing, like, and content marketing. So yeah.
So the negative ones, right? Because I'm into this industry for almost a decade now.
Yes.
Yeah. And with this process, I find the people who are new, not comparing with you, but maybe they're doing it for new in the sense not doing it regularly. maybe occasional client work or something. For them also, majority of the feedback they get is positive because they are doing it
once in a while.
yes, and the people who do it regularly, they get a vast range of
range.
yes. And do you think the type of work that you do, the type of the style of feedbacks that you get, the type of communication you have with your clients, right? Do you think coming down the road it may affect you in anyhow, or you would like to convert your the positive energy, sorry, convert your negative energy that you're getting, the negative feedbacks, into a lesson and not pull yourself down?
Yeah, it is a hard balance, but yeah,
Okay.
it's definitely just to refine my process and make sure that I'm taking the best step for the next clients and ensuring that it's succinct. It's a good client journey and experience overall.
Yes, yes.
I also wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
Is it the same process? Like, do you think that that's like the way you do things as well?
For the negative
Yes.
feedbacks?
Yeah.
Well, for the negative feedbacks, initially when I started, uh, I have no idea when I started, long back, and the negative feedbacks that I used to get is mostly from the people who doesn't want me to grow, and it was a good thing for me. The people, then I realized that it is the people who don't want you to grow, they are the one who are giving you negative feedback. But an actual client or a person who wants to work with you, they will understand what sort of work I'm doing. Only when I'm not giving my deliverables properly, then I might get some sort of a negative feedback or some sort of their client expectation.
Yeah.
But again, we have to understand the expectation of that person and the craft that I'm creating is very different. So it's never going to be according to their expectation.
Yes.
Similarly, I relate everything with food because I love eating. And with food, when you go to a restaurant, right? For example, I love Thai food. Now, a Thai curry, a masaman curry, or a red curry, or a green curry, you go to one um, restaurant, you won't find it exactly the same to the other one.
Yeah.
And then I can't say, hey, your masaman curry had less cashew in it. Yes. So in that process, I realized that if someone giving me negative feedback, it is something that I would convert it into a lesson of understanding that this person may be
and setting up the
expectation.
Maybe, yes, yeah.
Well, then I would be coming to a different approach rather than blocking that person off. I would come to a different approach and say, hey, we understand this doesn't go with your expectation. What are you looking for? And then I can create a tailored package for you and give you the best that you're looking for. It may increase the cost or it may reduce the cost, but it will be according to your way. But again, understand it gives a signature style of working. If I am doing on your style, then it doesn't make me any different.
Exactly. They're working with you for you, like they should.
Yeah.
Be
Otherwise, you could have gone with anyone.
Exactly.
The reason you're choosing me because you love my style.
my style. Exactly.
So that is how I convert the negative feedbacks. And the positive feedbacks, I think, is something that I also not try to, get and
Excited too much.
yes, yes, because I think the positive feedback is something people give it for appreciation that you're doing it great, but it also boosts you up that you're doing great. But in terms of the positive feedback, I think it helps in your business perspective because you would like to promote the positive feedbacks mainly to show that yes, you're getting the good side, but negative, you don't want to show your negative sides, you don't want to show your weaknesses. So that is important in terms of the positive. But I think positive feedback in generally, you'll get a inner smile anyway once you receive a positive feedback. So I think it's just something that's a part of your daily process.
Yeah, exactly. It's more for the business agency processes.
Yeah.
Rather than the creative.
Sure. Yeah. In terms of marketing, in terms of showing your brand, that how you're making it, how your business is growing. So yes. So what style of photography or content creations do you really enjoy?
I am super passionate about like fashion, lifestyle, portraiture, and a tiny bit of like real estate and automotive. But yeah, I stick to the main parts.
Okay, all right. I mean, in terms of what do you think which is really high profile, or you get much of work in Melbourne or Australia? Which one do you think it's really amazing? In which style of photography is really amazing up here?
Yeah, so I'd say lifestyle is probably my main work that I do really well in and I love. And yeah, I get booked for. So, how about yourself?
I love fashion.
Fashion.
I just love fashion, and again, it's like a chef. A chef has their own specialty,
Exactly.
but a chef can cook versatile.
Versatile amounts, yeah.
So
But you're just exceptional at that one, at that specific topic.
yes, I believe I have when I'm talking to a person, right? I have this a factor in me where I can make that person look or create a masterpiece of whatever the person are wearing, or if it's a model shoot, and the communication and everything. And yes, the idea behind doing a fashion shoot, it's really very interesting. I'm not saying the idea for doing a real estate shoot, because I did real estate as well, but real estate you are making a non-living object
look good.
look good.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
that is another beauty. But when I'm making human emotions and different emotions in different styles, where it becomes a little challenging, and I love that challenge, and I love making people more beautiful. So it's just something that works for me.
That's great.
And yeah, I just have this fashion thing all together. In terms, even if I'm doing not just a modeling portfolio, if I'm doing for a fashion brand, and or even I'm doing a runway shoot for any fashion show, I think it all comes to life when I'm with my camera in front of them.
Yeah, it's working with people and getting those reactions.
Yes.
And those different angles that they've never seen before. I do love working with people.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's something that I really enjoy. And at the end, when you are giving those pictures to the actual person, not of the business perspective, because when you're doing when we're doing an e-commerce shoot, or when we're doing a food photography, right, we are doing it for their business and people loving it, that's fine. But all right, but when we are doing a shoot for with a person, and you are giving their photo to them, they see themselves, oh, I look good, I look beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, that is emotion that you really want to capture.
Exactly.
Yeah. So how do you find inspiration for um, shoots?
So just in my daily life, walking around, grabbing coffee, going to a restaurant, seeing advertisements on the bus, everywhere. But I do get a lot of it from Instagram and Pinterest, especially when I'm creating my mood boards and my shot lists. I will use that.
So do you create any storyboarding before you go for the shoot, or what would your process like to doing any shoot? Like, how do you prepare yourself, and then how do you execute it?
Yeah. So I will obviously get all the information I need from the client on what they need, what style, what the concept is like, what their marketing, because it's mostly to do with content marketing and social media and advertising. So just ideas, things like that, and then what the talent's going to be as well. That plays a huge role. And then what kind of clothing, like just all the aspects that come into it. And yeah, and then I'll just start researching or looking at the inspiration, what I kind of want to create as well, because it's going to be part of my portfolio. So yeah, and then I just have like things ready, shot lists ready, poses ready, like a pose sheet for them to like use on the day. Yeah, and then we just smash it out in the time that we need.
All right. And with this process, how much because as we were talking about before, the client has their expectations.
Yes.
And you being a creative person, you have your style of working. To how much extent would you be compromising your style of work, or would you be compromising at all or not to go with the client expectation? And if you're going with their expectation, do you lose the creative aspect? And if you do, how do you manage it?
So most of the time, I keep to my style and my like what I want to create.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's
so that's mostly with flashes. Because I love using my flashes. I love that like editorial lifestyle kind of photos. And sometimes I have had to, do like some styles that aren't really my style of photos and content. But it's just sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
It's very important
It is.
to
You gotta balance like the income aspects, so like for the business, and then also like your creative styles and who you really are as a photographer, and just
All right. And what would your preparation after the shoot, like how like the post production work that you want to do? How do you organize yourself?
Okay, so as soon as I get back, I will upload and start going through them. So I'll cull and do like the base editing, like start going through that, and then if I want to change the style, like sometimes I like after a couple of days I'll be like, oh, I want this this editing style instead of the original idea. So it changes depending on that, but most of the time it's within like straight after the shoot.
Have you ever been not forced, but with your client expectation that they want things to be fast or something, have you feel pressured in terms of the turnover time sometimes?
Yes, quite a few times. But
so how would you communicate with them?
Well, just giving them realistic expectations, like from the get-go. You've got to let them know your time frames. And if they want anything earlier than that, A, you've got to make sure that you can actually do that. And then B, you have to maybe then charge a bit more if they want it quicker than what was originally planned.
Yes. So, and does it happen usually?
Not a lot.
Because you're already giving a realistic time.
Because you're already telling them exactly how many days it's going to take. So, just avoid it. Because then it's hard to then balance your life like outside of work. If you're then having all of these issues arise within it. So it's good to just organize that before. Because you have plans with like, going out for dinner, doing that. Like you can't always just be working.
Absolutely. So you agree that it is important for anyone who is working professionally to maintain the the normal life, the work-life balance, isn't it?
Absolutely. There's kind of a goodness in like that hustle culture, but then it goes down. It gets too far where it just damages your lifestyle, your habits, your health, your mental health. So you just got to keep a good balance, or else you're going to burn out really quickly, and you're going to be stuck.
Do you shoot in studio, or do you shoot like what do you prefer, shooting in the studio or shooting outdoors?
Outdoors, or well, I do a lot of my work in different environments, so not really studio, but it's like office space. It'll be in someone's house. It'll be in a business shop front. There's just so many different variations, and they could even ask for a bit of both, like inside and outside content. So
do you prefer natural lights, or you prefer additional lights?
So when I was younger, I vowed that I was a natural light photographer. Upon going into the industry more and doing things professionally, I have to use additional lights.
Is it because when we were younger you didn't own any additional lights, that's why we were more of natural light photographer?
I think
Or
so,
once
yes.
we get the access of external studio lights, we see what difference we can make it.
The impact of it, yes, yeah. So I think that's the main thing. We see the impact.
Would you prefer flash or do you prefer softbox?
I used to do a lot of flash,
Yeah.
and I still love it, but I do like the subtlety in the softbox. It's there, but it's not like right in your face.
Okay.
But flash itself is coming back as a popular trend at the moment. How about yourself?
I'm not into flash.
Not into flash?
No. Yes, as you mentioned before, right? When I was younger as well, I preferred natural light. I still prefer. I love outdoor shoots. I love outdoor shoots because I get to work with a huge amount of resources and accessibility. Yes, but along with natural light, obviously there's a time limitation that I would never prefer to shoot, which is around 11 o'clock ish till 3 o'clock ish. That is something that because of the harsh light, despite of you using an external light in that harsh light outdoor, it still doesn't give you that effect.
I mean, you could always put up one of those, like, what do you call them?
The diffusers?
The diffusers.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you're just you by yourself, then it becomes difficult.
It could be. Unless you have like your C-stand and things like that.
A lot of things, yes. And hope they understand the amount of gears that we have, and they get the value out of it. We don't mind putting 3-4 C-stands and traveling there and shooting. But then also sometimes it becomes difficult to carry those things to a rare location and shooting.
Yeah. So I use a little trolley or like a suitcase to.
Yeah, but then if you're going,
staircases and things like that.
Even the staircases, what would you do if you're going to shoot on a rocky pool? You have to trek a bit, on those the oceanside rocks and all, where you can't balance just by yourself, and then you will be carrying a C-stand or a trolley. Then it becomes a little difficult. And when you're just shooting by yourself, and in that process, I prefer it to be
just simple.
Simple.
Yes.
And then I would love to take my external light, which is softbox, and give that effect a bit, and the rest is all post-production.
If you could travel back in time, what advice would you give your younger self starting out in the industry?
Wow. You're asking the question that I'm supposed to ask.
Oh, really?
Just follow your passion. I would say this. If I can, younger self, right? If I can, depends on how young, but if I can tell myself that I am a very late person, I realize things, not realize, I have taken many steps in my life yet at a very late stage. Even starting working on my photography, or working on the business perspective, the fashion sense, or any other things. I think if I could have told myself and a realization that I should follow the passion, and despite of the challenges that can come up with, I just have to accept it and still continue what I love. That is the thing that I would be giving me a younger myself an advice, and so I don't have to regret anything. What would you give?
Similar, actually. I would focus on your craft and your portfolio and your passions, but I would have suggested focusing also hand in hand in the business aspects and social media aspects of that, to promote your work, get into marketing, to really push yourself out there to get the leads that you need. Because if I'd started earlier in all of these, I think I would be there by now already. But I'm also late, so a bit slower.
And also I have seen, I would say there are 50% of my associates I have seen, the creative people who mainly, they all have started late. Because some of them were scared to take a step at the early stage, that will it really work or not. And some of them were working somewhere else as a 9-to-5 job, and they have a potential to be a model or actor, and then they thought they should, come up with this passion, and they should continue doing it. So yeah, 50% I have seen is they have started late. But again, it's the same thing I would say for everyone, even for me as well. If you can realize this at the very young age, that you're meant to do something different, and
And
just
you
do
have
it.
the passion and
Yeah,
that
just
that
give it a
will
shot.
give it a shot.
Yeah, if it works, amazing. If it doesn't work, well, that's a different
You can
issue.
try again.
Try again.
You're
That's
still
it.
young enough to try.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I would also say, just like as I mentioned, like marketing and all that, that gives you the confidence to succeed.
Yes.
It does. Because I tried going full time last year.
Yeah.
At the start of the year.
Yeah.
But I had no idea how to run a business. I had no idea how to market myself. And so then I decided to go back into a full time role that would teach me these lessons a bit better. And that's how I've managed to actually survive a bit of like almost a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, running this agency.
So then you thought to just work for yourself. Something that as an external force that make you realize, or you realize for yourself, and you thought to run it, so you would be happy.
Yeah. So I've obviously also been working 9 to 5s for a young age, since I was young.
Yeah.
And I've also been doing photography on the side as a hobby, as a hustle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I disliked the 9 to 5. I knew that I wanted to be my own boss.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how to get there, and so I had to focus and figure out how to get from A to B and what that would require, and get those skills to do it. What do you fancy in terms of food?
I eat everything.
Yeah, there's just one behind.
What? You are finding it? I know where the washrooms
are. I'm just giggling it, like, in case.
I'll take your fancy washroom, not the public toilet ones.
Not the public. Nice.
Have you faced any challenges being a female photographer?
How do I say that? Yes and no. I mean, in some ways it's definitely a positive, because I know that with guys it's harder to work with like female models. They're always having to be walking on eggshells and making sure that they don't do anything wrong. So it's much easier as a female to work with them.
All right.
But then in other aspects of like industry professionals, it is a bit tough sometimes to stand out above other guys and people. How about yourself as a male photographer?
Well, as a male photographer, I'm very, I don't know if it's the word I use, flexible, or very I'm very flexible. Yes, I'm very flexible. I'm very convenient, even for working with male or female. And since my dominant photography is fashion and modeling, and the majority of the models in the fashion industry is highly in demand of female. They do a lot of versatile work, and for me it's very easy to work. My comfortable space is when I'm working with any female models or a female fashion designer or fashion brand, because the ideas and experience comes with a lot of ease for me to work with them. And when I'm working with male, it is also absolutely fine and very flexible, but sometimes they feel uncomfortable when I become
you tell them how to
pose and style, because sometimes it's very rare, but sometimes but I think for me is it's never been difficult for me to instruct or work with male or female. But I think just because I'm already a male and because of the male dominant society, unfortunately, but I've also collaborated and worked with female photographers and creative directors. They're also very flexible with me. I'm a very easygoing person.
Same. I've never had any issues with male models as well.
Yeah.
Pretty good to work with.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
What are the tools and resources that have really impacted your professional photography?
My gears, I would say, currently my go-to gear is a Sony Alpha A4, the mirrorless one. It's very convenient. I like it. Initially I was a DSLR person, because when I started there was DSLRs going on, and I found the Canon 60 Mark II is very nice, because it also does the videography good as well in terms of the Canon DSLR around that time. I bought it in 2020, but before that I was hiring cameras from unis and other places, but that became very expensive for me. So I thought to invest on a camera. My go-to lens is 24 to 105. It gives
it's a versatile range.
Yeah, you can travel.
With the same quality as this 24 to 70, almost, like, but with that longer.
Yes, slightly longer. But the cinematic lens, if you're using a DSLR, I would say 70-100 is something that gives a nice depth of field. I think it's 1.4 or 1.2. And I don't carry flash. That's a very not a good thing on me.
That's okay. It's what suits you and what your style is.
Yes, and if I'm going for a studio shoot or outdoor shoot, if I'm carrying a softbox, I'll carry a Godox 400 with a softbox and a C-stand. The one is the heaviest thing. And alongside the tools that I use for post-production, for photos, I will use Lightroom Classic, and then I'll use Lightroom. and then I'll use Photoshop.
Yeah.
So that's my 3 steps.
Mm.
Organizing it for Lightroom Classic, and then doing because I use a loop deck, the loop deck with the controls on.
Yeah.
It's
That's
very
cool.
easy for me to convenient to work it on,
Nice.
rather than using my mouse and cursor
Yeah.
and everything.
It's so old. Old school.
Sorry. Yeah. And then in Lightroom, if I need to put any masking or something, then I'll do it there. And then with Photoshop, I'll use the brush tools and healing tools to take off any very minute details there. And for video, I use same camera, Sony, or if I'm using any of the action cameras if needed. And after that, I will be using Pinnacle Studio.
Pinnacle. Oh yeah.
And Premiere Pro. Yeah, I use the expensive ones, even though DaVinci is free.
Yeah, or Final Cut.
Or Final Cut. Yeah, I think I got used to it because when I was in uni, RMIT, I used to do a lot of editings there, and those things were free. They didn't have DaVinci or Final Cut.
Yeah. And these are new softwares that only came out recently.
Yes.
Like in the past couple of years. Yeah.
Yes. Pinnacle Studio, my dad used to use it back then, and I learned somehow.
Learn from him, yeah.
Yes, and then I got the disc, the software, because Adobe, they use a subscription thing, but even like 10 years before, you just get the software CD and you install it once, and that's it. Yes, that was the time. But right now, so Pinnacle Studio does the same thing here, and now continue with they have the software. You install it once, and you don't have to.
Nice.
And so yeah, that's my photo and the video thing that I do. And on top of that, if I'm using a gimbal, I'll use a gimbal.
Yeah.
And my drone is FPV. So.
Yes, yeah. So tools and resources also kind of, it's open to, I guess, books, resources, what else? AI, do you have any use?
AI, I think now, because of the generative tool in the Photoshop, helps to create any AI in it.
Yeah.
On top of that, Firefly,
New,
it is amazing.
It's so cool. Yeah,
it is so cool.
I haven't used it, but it looks
really
it is
cool.
So cool. I've seen so many tutorials on it.
Because initially I applied for it because I use Adobe from a long time, and initially I think they released a few things that they get the access at the
like better versions, right?
Yeah. Early access. So I got the early access, and I was I tried different things, and they released Firefly 2.0 and 3.0 something, and yeah, those are amazing. And then you can implement and use different other structures. For me, I have learned the whole photography and filming through YouTube and Google.
Yes.
Education is free, honestly.
Education is pretty free,
yeah. Yeah. And you get to learn from anywhere you want, even looking at someone. And I just practice it. And I'm not a book person, honestly. I don't read a lot. Only I read when things I am really interested in. Yeah. Not like novels and storybooks. The three things I read on a book is travel books, where to go and what to do. Second things I would read is this, what do you call, not documentaries, but not even biographies. It's like marketing ways.
Guides.
Yes, marketing guides. Promote like business structures.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I would say the same. So I don't have enough time to sit down and read, unfortunately. Yeah. So a lot of the times when I am driving, I'm listening to Audible or like audiobooks.
Yes.
Books on Spotify.
Yeah.
Things like that. Yeah, and that in business, marketing, sales. What else? Yeah. Just anything to upskill.
Hear podcasts. I keep listening to even like if it's a photography, marketing, or something related with creative things, or even running how to run a podcast, or how to do this, that. What are the tips and tricks? Yeah, podcast.
Podcast.
Yeah,
Same.
listening
Just
to
listening
it.
while you drive.
Listening.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good.
it's so soothing as well.
It's so soothing. That's why I
And
came up with the
educating,
idea of let's listen to
Yeah.
podcasts and people would, because I told in different podcasts as well. I learned there's a statistic says people spend 40 minutes on driving in Australia
Yeah.
every day.
Because I have to commute to work.
Yes.
This and that. Yeah.
So in that process, I thought, okay, let's keep me that target and let's hit it.
Good. It's a good idea.
Yeah. Have you ever happened with you once you go for a shoot, you have planned everything properly, but it didn't go out with the plan that you are meant to go with?
Yeah, 100%.
And how did you keep yourself
Had a few of those.
uplifted?
Just do as best as I can, regardless of like what's happening around me, the expectations like on the spot that the client wants, even though we've already planned through it. And then just I guess dealing with it at the end. Like you can't do much once you get there, right? So everything's planned, everything's sorted. You've already organized it with the client. So just trying to take control of the situation as best you can, and just doing the best you can.
It's a good thing to know, because the people who might be listening to this, if they have also faced a similar things and they don't know how to handle that pressure.
I would also say maybe take a few second break, like I don't know, 5-minute break. To reassess. And if needed, re-communicate with the client. What the expectation coming into the shoot was versus what it currently is, and if they want to change anything around that, because I guess communication is key, right?
Yes.
And you're doing it for them, so you have to be on the same page. But just keeping cool, taking control, and getting it done.
Because it happened many times with me as well when I am going for the shoot, and suppose I wanted a sunny day. Honestly, I won't want sunny day, but if it's a sunny day.
But like if the planned shoot of the brief was with the sun, then you have to.
Yes, then I have to. But if I and want to do a shoot in the sun personally, and then suddenly starts raining, well, I switch my plan, and I'm always ready to do it. And honestly, till now, I'm glad it never happened. Always, in terms of
it
worked out. Yes, always it worked out.
I've had a few situations where it started raining, and you just have to find a location that's dry. You do the same shoot there, basically.
Yes.
That's all you can do.
Yes, and
or reschedule, but
reschedule. I think, and also nowadays, since you have the AI thing, right? All you want is to have just the model or the subject in the proper, and the rest you can work it out.
So my story is we planned a big shoot, like 3-4 models. We had clothes that we got from a couple of different brands, and we'd planned a whole weekend around it, so we'd stay there as well. And it was meant to be at the sand dunes in Wilson's Promontory.
I think you were sharing that.
And like the night before, we found out that it was flooding, and there was like a giant a storm basically. The whole weekend it would have been terrible. We wouldn't be able to go because it's blocked off. So we instantly had to decide a new location. Obviously, our original idea was sand dunes and desert and stuff like that, but we had to pivot to a more, I guess, what do you call it, urban look. So we went to Bendigo and shot in the main street.
From Wilson's Prom to Bendigo.
Because we couldn't really decide, I guess, on any other location.
Wow.
Because we still wanted something extravagant. So we used the Bendigo buildings to, really. Yeah, because we had like the long flowy dresses,
Yes.
So same kind of color palettes with the sandy kind of,
nice
vibes, but to urban.
That's good. That's urban improvisation. That's really
exactly.
important.
Absolutely. That's yours.
Have you had any rewarding experience in your entire photography and content creation?
I guess like recognition, like say when we spoke about like people recognizing your work on the streets and things like that, or in the industry. So it's really cool. And even like you, oh, I've heard of you, but I've never met you, and stuff like that. So it was really cool. Yeah. What else? I did a bit of work last year, like free work and things like that have brought like clients back this year.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
So any specific moment that you like talking about, or setting an example for someone who are inspiring photographers or creators that can, people can get inspired. Okay, this is something happened with me, like with you, and you give that example that the other person can get inspired and they come to the industry.
I see. That's a good one. Jesus, so many. I'd have to pinpoint one specifically.
Yeah, when you have too much.
It's too many.
Yeah.
There's quite a few models that I met before they became models, and I was like the first person. I'm like, oh, you should do a photo shoot. Like you're definitely like model worthy, things like that. And we'd do our first shoot. They'd love it. They'd fall in love, and then suddenly they're like building their portfolio, and then they're getting signed to an agency and things like that. Nice. It's pretty nice to see. Yeah, those successful.
That's good.
Creative passions. How about yourself?
For me, when I have a big list, then I get confused which one should be the one which is the most rewarding one. Recent one I would say when I was shooting for Miss World.
Yes.
And I didn't expect my name to be printed on the Miss World Australia's
the finale. And stuff like that.
The finale brochure thing, booklet, and they didn't tell me that they will be putting my name there. Yeah. And I was just going through that night's agendas and the schedule. And I was like, and it was a flash. I was like, okay.
You just passed
and there were credits was there, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Why someone is using similar name as mine? Then I was like, oh no, this is me. Yeah, because the way they put is, instead of putting Sayantan Creative Studio as one single line, it was Sayantan. The next line was Creative Studio. Built in, but there's no space there.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh. Then I went to Izzy was the one who's a coordinator. Yeah, thank you for because I traveled from Melbourne to Gold Coast for the finale.
Yes.
And that was the one. And anyone whoever I worked like a model the same way, and I built a sort of a career for them. They're doing great. They are getting many jobs through the career. As I always say, like, unfortunately, the shame of this industry, not every photographer, despite of whatever their skill level is,
they don't get a lot of recognition.
Yes, they don't get a lot of recognition, and only on Instagram or social media, when we are posting things out there as a photographer, of a picture of a model, despite of whatever style is it, the models get more followers.
Yes, yeah, and they get more recognition.
More recognition, and very few who gets photographers who gets to look into it. This algorithm thing, once you put more reels, you get to spread out a lot.
Yeah.
But people who doesn't do a lot of reels, I mean, unfortunately, we have to keep the trend.
Yes.
But I still don't follow the algorithm. I follow what I love, and I post it, pictures mainly. But if I have to post a reel, I'll post a reel if I can get a chance and take some videos.
Same thing. I want to change it, but it's just a matter of getting to it.
To it, yes.
Shooting it, making sure,
sometimes makes me a little demotivated sometimes, seeing that there are photographers
that are posting reels
and getting thousands and thousands of followers,
and they're getting leads from it. That's the thing.
They're getting leads from it. Yeah,
and that's sadly the modern day marketing technique that works. So
well, then I thought recently that if I post reels, and Instagram is where a platform it can pay me if I have a certain amount of followers or something. Well, I can use that way to upscale myself. So podcast is one reason. Where if I'm putting little snaps or like reels,
like shorts
on YouTube, on YouTube, on Instagram. Well, if that helps me to grow, well, that is good,
so be it.
be
Awesome.
it. Yeah.
If it works, it works.
It works, it works. Have you ever felt competitive in like looking at your work? When you see someone else doing the similar concept, have you felt a bit competitive that okay, I need to
go out there and do it better, or like
better,
do this idea and stuff? Yeah, for sure, all the time. But it's like realistically what you can do in your own time as well. And sometimes it's a good thing, like you have that competition. It drives you to like be better and like pushes you and challenges you to be more creative and be different and stand outside the box. Other times it does bring you down, but then you've got to try and control that comparative mindset and just your work is your work. So I'm always curious to hear about yours.
Mine, I still feel that. Yeah. I still feel that because, as I told you, that I tiny house by Hanger. Yeah, I need to write it down every time I forget. Tiny house by Hanger.
That's good. Yeah.
All right, back to the thing. Yeah, I still feel competitive because I start things very late, and I see the ideas that I have is already someone is doing it.
I have that in my travel page. It's so annoying.
I know many people are already doing this thing.
Yeah, I've been planning for years to do that too. But
now,
like not a podcast, but like a YouTube video.
Yeah, so if you started, then I'll be like, oh, I should have started it.
Yeah.
So it will happen, but I know because we are creative, because we have a similar mindset, we will do the same thing.
Oh yeah.
It's all about when you can do it, when is your capability of doing it, and
how the way you do it.
The way you do it,
your personality and your branding as well comes into it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So in that way, I feel a bit competitive. But when it comes to photo shoot as well, when I see someone is doing great with the types of style they're doing, and I also doing the similar style, well,
it's hard sometimes.
It's hard to accept it, but then we have to accept it.
We have to. There's no other way to get
No other way.
It. Yeah, exactly.
You have been studying. When did you graduate? You said.
Like high school, 2015, but uni.
In photography. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, in
photography. Yeah. PSC was 2017.
Okay.
No, 20 end of 2017.
2017, right?
And then RMIT was 2021 to 20, somewhere there. I did it during lockdown.
Okay, so 2017. So it's almost been 7 years, right?
Yeah.
So in 7 years, have you seen, like what sort of things have you seen that has changed in terms of photography and content creation?
Or myself?
No. In general.
In general. Yeah.
What are the changes that you have seen in the last 7 years?
Yeah.
In terms of photography and content creation, that you find it that is good, and you find it that shouldn't have happened?
Not per se like good or bad. It's just like I've noticed, we used to take a lot of time to take one shot, like to make sure that one image was perfect. I mean, we still do with like professional fashion shoots and things like that.
Yeah.
But like in terms of content creation for businesses, like social media content, it's more like good quality at mass production kind of thing. Like it's a lot more. Like you need more content.
Okay.
To feed the social media machine kind of thing. So yeah.
So do you think that this thing can affect photographers and content creations in coming days? Because in 7 years, if things have changed, there might be things that may not be suitable for not every photographers or any creators.
Exactly.
But if you think the type of style of work that you do, what would you want that can really grow, that you can grow really good in it, and what do you think that it should be coming on your way?
The industry is growing, which is great, because then it can accommodate more photographers, more creators, more videographers, things like that. But I'm just not sure what shouldn't have happened. I don't know.
I'll tell you what should have happened. I mean, you should hope the competition is not high that you lose out of business. that shouldn't happen.
But if the industry is growing, then and you need to have more of an abundance mindset. If you think like the opposite, then it's always going to be negatively impacted kind of thing. So you just got to keep going.
But again, what if this the type of AI that you're releasing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. We understand we are using AI in terms of photography and filming to create an idea.
Yeah.
But again, if you want a style of photo shoot, I think nowadays you can replace background easily. You can replace put up a product and put a nice fancy backdrop, and you can work it out. So I think you don't want that thing to come up on your way.
That's true. Yeah. But there's did you hear about this program called Anything World?
Anything? Well, no.
It's
what
a
is
program, but you could literally do a cinematic movie through that.
Like a video?
Like a proper video.
Yes,
and you can make animate like characters.
Yes.
And then they track your face in your video, and you can literally.
I think I heard of the process, but I didn't know the name. Yeah.
The industry's changing. That's just insane.
Yeah, I hope they don't take our work. But the only thing is, the idea of the inputs that we are giving it, right? It should help us, help the creators to create something. But I think if the businesses starts working on those, they just type in prompts and they get the work
and they
done.
Get what they need.
Yes.
They won't need it. Anyway.
They won't need it, and they might say, "Look, 50% work I have done it. What you just need to do is just to take a photo. I mean, just to polish it up." Yeah. Well, I got one request like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So they it was for a food restaurant. So I did the photos for them, and they wanted the raw file from me. Nice. And apparently they had a free trial in Canva or something. I'm not sure. It's a one almost not a year, last year mid.
Yeah.
And they was like, you just give us the raw files because 50% work is just you are doing it. Rest I can do it by myself.
Wow.
I'm like, well, that's great. Could you please tell me what you want to do? I can do it for you as well. So they're like, no, that's fine. We would like to just change the background, change the color and everything. So we have this software. And he was also asking me that how to do it in that software. And I'm like, look, if you want to do it, the knowledge that I'm providing you, that is the important part. That is why I charge something. That is the value of myself. Well, if you want to know, then you should pay me fully.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that was like sort of annoying because they don't understand the effort is going on creating the whole content, the whole shoot of a food
From
photography.
Planning to post.
Yes.
Angles, ideas.
Because without the picture, you can take on your phone if you want to. Go for it. Or even you take on your camera.
Clearly, why they're trying something else.
Yeah. You can take on your camera as well if you want to. Go for it. No problem at all. But when you are asking a professional photographer to take any picture, right, and the rest you want to do it by yourself, well, it is not something that any photographer would appreciate it. No. And once I'm providing any invoice to anyone, I have this thing on my invoice. No raw files be provided.
Nice.
And I also tell them if I once I'm giving you the pictures, please, don't retouch those.
Don't edit. I hate that when they do that. They just chuck a filter on and you're like, ugh.
I mean, it doesn't represent the final quality of the work that we are doing. And if you do that, it is very disrespectful. Also, in terms of, for an example, if you go to a restaurant, now how would you feel like you order their food, right? And then you go inside, like you don't tell them, you take the food, you directly go into the kitchen, then you start cooking by yourself. It's as simple as that.
It's so simple.
Yes. So, and it is very disrespectful to not to communicate and tell them, look, can we have, and initially if you tell them, look, my idea and concept like this, can we do a style? Well, if that works for you, perfect, you guys work together. If it doesn't work for you, you work it out something else. But don't take the pictures at the end and then put a filter. or edit it or crop it out.
Yeah, like they have at least like a a set like one retouch change or something like that.
Yeah.
Couple. Yeah.
And the additional things that sometimes I get a lot is can you trim my waistline? Can you make me
Can you get rid of my pores on my face or pimples and things like that?
Yes.
Yes.
I was very stupid enough to agree to that, and I used to do those things at the very start of my career because
without any extra fees, you needing.
No. I was doing it just for the sake because they love it. I was doing it. I love editing. I used to do it. Then I was like, first of all, when I initially realized, look, if I change the whole thing, it's not you. What if I take a brand like, for an example, I take a energy drink Red Bull, right? And I change the bull color red to blue because I wanted to
cut the wings a bit,
Yes.
trim the waistline.
Yes. I mean, it doesn't work like that. I'm changing whole you. You want me to put and on top of that, they were like, can you put some spider eyelashes? Can you put me some?
Wow.
Yeah. Can you trim my this
That's
down?
proper. You should be charging.
I was like, that is a whole beauty retouch, and so basically, you're telling me to do a work of a makeup artist. And yes, I always tell before the shoot now, it's a communication is I find very important.
Yeah.
And I tell them, look, we'll go with this. Come with a very simple makeup, and because I love simple makeup. And then if you want to add up something, you can add up. But completely is we don't want it to be in such a way that after the shoot you tell me do this, do that, do this. That is too much. That becomes a little annoying sometimes.
It's so annoying, and the fact that you're doing it for free in your own time is just a pain in the ass.
Yeah, even if we're getting paid. Yeah. Sorry, I did a wedding shoot, and whatever the planning was, we didn't find. And the moment I went there, once I was setting up my camera with the gimbal and everything, they asked me, "Can you take drone shot?" I think I told you before this one. So drone shots, I will prefer it to be planned. You can't just randomly go there and start taking drone shots because you need to know where are we shooting, what style are we doing, because even if it's outdoor, right, you need to know, you need to plan it out. And also when someone is paying you something and suddenly if they tell you we'll pay you another $300 or $400, can you take a drone shot? Well, it doesn't work that way. It's not just about the money. It is also about the Thailand style of the thing that you want to provide them. You plan it, then you want to execute it. So this is the thing that I would prefer.
What are some misconceptions that you like people have about photography, videography, and photographers and videographers?
One of the number one misconception is people think photography is just a hobby. It can't be a profession. And some of the misconception has some people think photography is can give you a luxury life. It can only give you a luxury life when you are doing it uh, consistently and keeping up the trend, working with some great ideas, some great clients. Um, Another misconception is people think you can only do photography and filming when you have fancy gears. I believe you can start with literally anything.
Even your phone.
Literally anything. Yes, phone, GoPro, like action cameras. Yes,
Point and shoot cameras.
Anything you can shoot with. If you are into motion pictures like filming, you can do on your phone. You don't have to have a fancy phone. You can literally do in any phone, because now currently in this era, you can literally depixelate things as well. Even if your camera is not good, you may think that you need some sort of a fancy RGB light. You don't need it. You can use literally any light. I mean, you can use a normal light, and then you can use a cloth that is a different colored cloth, and then you can try it different color modes. And yes, it's you can unlock your potential. That's it. I mean, this is something people think. Some of them, they might think like that person may not be able to have um, uh, good photos because of they don't know what composition is. I think you can learn again through anything, YouTube, Google, Instagram, from someone, word of mouth. All about is how much can you take and how much you can provide. So yeah, I think these are the basic ones that the misconceptions that people have it. And also, one of the biggest misconception is there's a difference between a photographer and anyone taking picture.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is what I believe in. That's the reason why we have chosen this expensive career. This is this is
This is
I think
definitely
one of the most expensive profession that someone can. And it is not like usually when you're working in any profession, usually the company provides everything and you just work there. And as a creator, as a photographer, filmmaker, you buy things by yourself, and these things doesn't come cheap. um,
Plus, like, they don't even pay for insurance on the gear as well. Like, it's
don't
like,
talk
I
about
don't even
insurance. Don't talk about insurance.
I don't either.
Oh, that
I
is
want to, but I don't.
that's yeah, that I mean, this is the reason how the insurance people say if you don't do this and something happens, they put you the fear on yourself, and you think, oh, what if? Like the same thing happened with my other lens, 7200.
Yeah.
One of my favorite lens.
Yeah.
And I was shooting, and I think
Oh yeah, the big one. Yeah, you told me.
that cracked, and yeah, I opened it by myself. I was like, I don't have insurance. Like, what do I do? I should do it by myself.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
then ripped the whole parts apart.
You could have just gotten someone to fix it for you.
I could have bought a new lens with that amount.
True.
Yeah.
Like, even then, we also should be having like liability insurance when we go into people's properties and businesses.
You're giving me anxiety. Yeah.
Sorry, just the business
Yeah,
side
I
of
know.
things.
Because I used to Sunday markets.
Sunday market.
You know Sunday markets?
Sunday market, no. In Campbell or no?
No. In Sunday markets is basically every Sunday they have this.
Yeah. So Camberwell has one. I don't know.
Many places has it.
Every place has one. Yeah.
Preston,
everywhere.
So me
you're
and my partner, we do it in Docklands.
Oh, okay.
We both are creative. We do decals. This is these things.
But you do like
Print on demand things.
print on demand
Yeah.
things. Oh, cool. Do you have a printer at home?
Yeah.
Nice.
So we do this.
Cool.
So
Wow.
we put a stall in
The full
Docklands.
studio, creative studio.
Yes, absolutely. And I have the
How big is the printer?
so that's a very small Cricut, and then you iron press it.
Oh, there's one.
Yeah, it's not that big, but yeah. Also, I have the exhibition printers, which the Canon 1000 Pro. That's heavy, massive. Yeah. So anyone would like a big print, wall print or something like that.
Wow, that's cool.
And to put that stall, you have to have public liability insurance. Minimum $2 million public liability insurance.
Oh, that would be expensive.
Yes, for that I had to pay around $150 per month. $50 per month.
Yeah.
And expensive.
Do you still have it?
No, not now.
Dude, that's the same as my car insurance at the moment.
That's for you.
Sweet, thank you.
Nice.
Cheers. That's cool.
Well, as we cruise to the end of our trip, thank you very much, Christina, for joining us today.
No problems. Thanks to you for having me.
No worries. And I'm very excited to see what Encove and you can bring new and exciting to the industry. And I would love to collaborate with you as well in different ideas. And yeah, thank you for today. And hope we do this thing again soon.
Sounds good.
Yeah, perfect.
Awesome.
No worries. Thank you, everyone.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.